Fall is right around the corner, and it's time to start getting ready. My name is Devin, the DIY lawn coach, and in this video, I want to share with you my plan. In case you're in a similar situation as me, you can use this video as a guide. There are some very important steps that I don't want you to miss, so let's get into the video. So this summer has been and looks to continue to be one of the hottest summers here in Western North Carolina that we've had in a really long time. Couple that with the fact that it's been 51 days since we've had any rainfall here in my house. That has really exposed some weak areas in the lawn. And so I'm gonna work this fall to try to correct that. You wouldn't know this because I didn't have a YouTube channel last year, but last fall I was dealing with a lot of Poa annua. And so in a cool season lawn, the way we get rid of Poa annua is we have to add a pre-emergent. If we add a pre-emergent to stop the germination of Poa, you can't overseed because that'll also stop the germination of grass. And you can't aerate because that'll break down the barrier, the vapor barrier that the pre-emergent does. So last year was a great success. I didn't see the Poa, so this year my plan is going to change a little bit and we're going to aerate and overseed. Let's go take a walk around the lawn together. I'm going to show you my situation, show you what I'm thinking and kind of what my plan is so that we can get into the very first thing that you need to do when we're getting close to fall. Let's go. So here is the front lawn, and you can still see some of these dark spots out here, and that is just, again, the compaction issues. But I can definitely tell that the grass is improving just from that little bit of aerate that we added and, you know, the manual core aeration that we did with that little tool. It's helped. You know, things are still really cooking here, so it's going to be 95 today, 98 later in the week. So, you know, again, that was more of a temporary solution. But this fall, what we're going to do is we're going to run the core aerator up and down the lawn. I've got a mental note of some of these these areas that we're going to run a little heavier and really make sure we kind of break those up really good. The lawn out here in the front yard is really, really thick. I don't know that I'm going to apply any grass seed out here. If you remember, I've got turf type tall fescue, the spreader elite variety, so there is a little bit of spreading capabilities. So probably not going to add any seed out here to the front. So when we come over here to the side yard, I mentioned this in a previous video. This is a separate grass type over here. This is a fine fescue. And so if you stand back and you look across this area, the fine fescue runs basically right through here, up and around that area. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kill all of this off. I'm gonna use Roundup or glyphosate and I'm gonna spray all this so that it matches the rest of the turf. It's just underneath this tree right here. I'm gonna spray all this and then that way it'll match and look like the rest of the lawn. So that's kind of an overview of everything I'm gonna do. You know, my main target here is compaction and again to get rid of the fine fescue in this area. So there's really the only two projects that I need to get done this fall. So without really trying to confuse you guys, I really have two projects that I'm working on. In the front yard, it's compaction. So that is really simple. That is just renting a core aerator, which I actually own one. So that's really simple. We're just gonna drive the core aerator around. We're gonna poke a bunch of holes, fertilize, you know, not adding any grass seed. But the backyard where I've got that fine fescue is a little bit different story. That's more what I would call a renovation. All right, so if you're doing a renovation and you're adding grass seed, the first thing you need to do is pick what I call your seed down day. So how do you pick a seed down day? Well, it's not an exact science. This is just a rough guesstimate. We're just setting a goal for when we'd like to put down our seed. If you're in New Jersey or you're up north, Michigan, you know, you've got a little bit cooler climate, your seed down day is gonna be a little bit sooner than we are here in North Carolina. Typically, I don't like to put down grass seed any sooner than September 15th. I know some of you guys up in maybe the northern climates, you know, Wisconsin, Michigan, you guys can get away with putting down your grass seed even in late August sometimes, just depending on your weather. But really that's what it boils down to, is the weather. So what we're looking for are temperatures that are falling into, you know, the low 80s, upper 70s. The nights are starting to cool off. We're getting a little bit more rainfall. And so, you know, when we're picking our seed down day, that's what we're looking for. You know, here in North Carolina, we have what's called our second summer or third summer. And so we have to really be careful. I know I'll get kind of lured into thinking, you know, it's time to go, it's time to put down seed, and then it'll bump right back up into the 90s. And I mean, once you put down your grass seed, you've got to commit to watering, and if it's 90 degrees, it's going to struggle. Again, it's not a perfect science. We're just picking a day, and then we're going to work backwards. So how do we pick the seed down day? What we need is at least 6 weeks before our first frost. So here in North Carolina, I think the first frost is like October 15th, October 17th, something like that. So go online, search first frost date for your zip code, and then I want you to back up a minimum of 6 weeks, okay? And so why we need to do that is we got to give the grass time to get up and at least get mowed twice before we get our first frost. So here in North Carolina, our first frost is October 15th, so 6 weeks before that is around the middle of September, so about September 15th, which is perfect. So again, sometimes we can be a lot later than that, sometimes we can be a little bit sooner than that, but again, this is not a perfect science. So now that we've determined the scope of our project, we know what we're going to be doing, we've already picked our seed down day. Step 2 is we want to go ahead and start gathering up the supplies that we need for our project. For the front yard, again, I'm just going to be core aerating, and so I'm going to go ahead and buy the fertilizer that I need for the rest of the year for after that project. And then with the backyard, when it comes to that fine fescue, I'm going to go ahead and order my grass seed, the fertilizer that I need for that. Do I need Roundup or glyphosate? Do I need a seed covering? Do I need to buy a new pump sprayer? Whatever it is that I need for that project, I'm going to go ahead and buy now so that I have it. The last thing I want to do is wait until closer to time, find out that the grass seed that I've chosen, they're not going to have it, or they're out, or prices have gone up, because that would not be good for me. So, and I know a lot of other people are just like me, you know, they're trying to get ahead and they're buying their needs now. And so I want to make sure that what I want, I'm able to get. So I'm going to go ahead and start ordering those supplies. So step 2 is go ahead and be ordering the stuff that you need for your project. And so the third step that we're going to do is kind of goes along with, you know, just being prepared with the equipment that you need. Is let's go ahead and call the rental company that we're going to use, whether you need a core aerator or a dethatcher or a sod cutter, or maybe you need a trailer to be able to haul all this stuff. Let's go ahead and call them, pay our deposit, and get that taken care of so that we don't have to worry about it. I know here in my area, we've only got 1 or 2 different rental companies, and they have a limited number of core aerators. So, you know, if I'm gonna, you know, do it on a Saturday and they've only got 3, that means only 3 people can get that core aerator. So I want to make sure that I'm in line and I've got my name on the book so that, you know, when it's time to do my project, I'm ready to go. Again, step 3 is go ahead and call that rental company and get the equipment that you need booked. So the main purpose of this video is just to kind of get you guys thinking about fall, thinking about getting ready. Fall is go time when it comes to a cool season lawn. And I know it's really hard in the middle of July to be thinking about leaves falling and football and, you know, pumpkin spice lattes, but it will be here before you know it, I promise. The weather seems to change rather quickly, especially here in Western North Carolina, and we just want to make sure that we're prepared. You know, as I've mentioned in earlier videos, you know, one of the biggest keys to success in a cool season lawn, or any lawn for that matter, is having a plan and then working that plan. If you've already got all your supplies and you've got everything ready to go, and you see the weather transition maybe a little bit sooner than what you expected based on your seed down day, call your rental company, ask them, hey, can I go ahead and get my aerator earlier, or can I get my dethatcher early? And then you can rock and roll with your project because you've already got everything ready to go and you don't have to wait. The only way that that's going to happen is if you prepare. My name is Devin, the DIY Lawn Coach. Thank you so much for checking out the video. I am super pumped for fall. I'm ready to get going. I'm ready for a break from this heat, as I know a lot of you guys are too. So thank you for checking out the video. Make sure you subscribe if you're not. If you're new to the channel, welcome. So glad to have you. Give the video a like, and I can't wait to see you in the lawn. Peace.